Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday the 21st of November. So we start off looking at the euro dollar, and we're seeing a bit of a bounce at the moment. Whether it will continue, we'll see. But it's running into some short-term resistance here on the 4 hourlies. We're seeing it running into the 4 hourly 8. It still has the weekly pivot below. If it does reverse around this morning, that for me would be an initial target point at least. I quite like that, so just watching this morning. You could take it from an aggressive trend line break there, but it's certainly got some potential. If it starts pushing on through, well, we're going to be running into a resistance in the form of the moving averages just above the first touches. So I expect if it doesn't stop here, it may just stop up there for a little bit. Whether then it will pull back quite so far, we'll see. But that's what I'm planning on at the moment. It's still big time. It's on the bigger time frames. To me, it's still a bit bearish. On this time frame here, yes, it's had a decent run up. It broke that trend a little bit running through last night or yesterday afternoon. So it's on the cusp, but it could be rolling over. Of course, it could just continue, but we'll see. See if I'm right or wrong here. Okay, daily pound. So the pound week yesterday, it had a sort of bit of news that came out. I don't know how true it is, and that's who the source of it at the moment. I haven't just looked at that, but suggesting the Brexiteers have come up with a different border plan, and it may be acceptable to the Prime Minister. And if that's the case and it gets pushed on, it may be a more easy path for her plan overall. Still looking bearish though from a daily perspective, and the 4 hourly perspective, still lower highs, lower lows. It did sell off yesterday afternoon in the end, right the way back through its S1 there. At the moment, again, sitting around the pivots there again. If it pushes through, it's going to be running back into the key moving averages of 34, 50, 100, all sitting there bunched up. May just find some resistance around that. Again, it may become a sell point back down towards that S1 and towards those lows we saw on the 15th there. Okay, that's the pound. The dollar yen. Dollar yen here, I mean, it's put a nice reversal bar on the dailies there. It's run back into the underside of its monthly pivot just about. It still has the weekly pivot above. Big picture, still to me, the weekly is sort of bullish, and well, even this daily hasn't broken down that far yet. Of course, we've had this series of lower highs, lower lows. It's a question whether it can continue to push up in this towards this weekly pivot at the moment. Just looking, what else is there? I mean, it's actually just missed the weekly, monthly pivot. It's not quite tested it again, but could pitch through it. It's the important things is to watch here. This 100 moving average is already. We've seen price higher than where the moving average is now. Now it may still react to that moving average if it pushes through. Yep, we may have some further upside. We've got space to run up towards that weekly pivot potentially today, but we'll see. Okay, that's the dollar yen. Let's have a look at the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, well, sold off yesterday. Quite a solid sell-off in the second shift. Quite bearish there, just having a bit of a retracement, probably back to the daily pivot. There we go, back into its daily pivot at the moment. Now this could continue its rollover. It's seems weak at the moment. We'll see how it runs. Now again, if you were looking to short this, you could be just looking at the trends across the lows there and riding it back down to yesterday's lows, and maybe further down towards its S1. Yeah, I mean, it's got lower highs, lower lows. It's all fitting in quite comfortably with downside at the moment on there. So that's the Aussie. Canadian dollar. Still bullish. Hot, solid old day up again yesterday afternoon. The OPEC meetings obviously didn't come to much for that. There's a bit of divergence on this RSI here, but it did drop below the 50 area on the signal line there, so maybe it'll hold up there. Now, sorry, coming back to the weekly picture on this, it is heading at the moment back towards those double tops there. I've been keep talking about those, but there we are. That's sort of part of when you push out of these expanding wedges, you may get a whole one-to-one move from the highs to lows, but I generally look more at the conservative double top first. It could push further, but it is at the moment, but not a great one for day trading. Looking quite good on the from a swing perspective. Where we're sitting here at the moment, it's well, pulling back at the moment. It may just want to be running back towards that daily pivot, which, depending how the landing there, may give us a bounce. Looks like it's got a marginal divergence at the highs there at the moment, so may pull back a bit more. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. We don't have much in the way of news. Got public net spending, borrowing rather, in the UK at 9:30, and the US core durable goods at 1:30. So maybe a bit of volatility around that core durable goods. It's never a big mover. Neither is the public sector net borrowing, but may just give a bit of volatility at those two times. Consumer sentiment at 3 p.m. not a great mover, and oil inventories, well, they seem to have died a death a little bit more recently, but who knows, may get a move. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now.